Hey, Sam and Ron here with A Perfectly Imperfect Marriage. And today we wanted to talk with you a little bit about the conversations we avoid, the expectations that we have that maybe we haven't actually verbalized. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Sometimes we think we know our partner, so we hold back. Or we don't want to have those uncomfortable moments.
So it took me a little while to realize that I actually can't read Samantha's mind. For a while there in the beginning, I thought I could, that I knew exactly what she was thinking, when she was going to think it, and how she was going to react to whatever it was we were talking about. And I was wrong.
I think we still do that sometimes, though.
It's hard to avoid.
Yeah, we get so used to, I don't know, just all the years we've been together, and we think we know how you're going to react, or you think I'm going to react a certain way.
And that is part of this, in that, we're all growing as time goes on. We're growing emotionally, we're growing spiritually. And some of the things that mattered to me 10 years ago, or maybe the ways that I would have reacted to a given stimuli, have changed over the years. So we need to really verbalize our expectations with one another.
Yeah, God designed communication as a bridge, not a barrier. So when we're not talking to each other, instead of building a bridge that we can meet in the middle on, we are instead building a wall to where one brick at a time, we can't even see each other anymore.
I heard this analogy years ago and it's stuck with me, but non-verbalized or non-expressed expectations is like writing a movie script with everybody in your life, and you don't give the script to anybody. So when they're not following their role the way that you expect them to, you get pissed off. Yeah. But the problem isn't them, because you never verbalized your expectations. So how are they going to know what it is that you're looking for? And it doesn't mean that your expectations are right and always going to be met, but until you actually have the conversation, your expectations will never be met.
So God's design, pardon me, for marriage has a lot of different facets. This is just one of them we're talking about. And we are pulling this from Ephesians 5 specifically. And I do have little notes to keep me on the right verses. But for the woman, it's verses 25 and 26. A woman longs to see her husband as her protector, her best friend, and the one she can bring everything to without fear. I want to be able to share with my husband without fear that he's going to think I'm being silly or I'm just being a whiny woman, because guys never say that. But as you grow in your relationship, he's growing too and realizes that he needs to be my safe place so that I can share my concerns, my worries, even if sometimes they are silly. And that is a design from God.
And guys specifically, but women do this too. But sometimes our spouse just wants us to listen and not try to fix. And this one took us years, because every time Samantha would come to me with something going on at work, I would automatically go into, well, if you do this, this, and this, that problem will likely go away. That's not what she was looking for. She just wanted me to listen and, commiserate with her or, but validate her feelings. And it took us some conversations to understand what those expectations were.
And it's not just work too. It could be like your parents. Sometimes our parents get under our skin because they're still trying to parent us, even though we're adults, which we in turn do to our children. But we're learning. Or it could be friends. It could be church people.
Sure.
People are people.
Really, no anybody in your life.
Yeah. So for husbands, we pull from Ephesians as well, 22 through 24. And what do guys want?
So, well, the short answer is respect. Yeah. But just as a husband longs to be respected, affirmed, and trusted. So, the dynamic between husband and wife, I mean, it's a multifaceted, it's the onion, but there are very specific things. Women often, generally, are looking for that safe space in their husband. And guys are looking for respect from their spouse. And, I'm sure we've talked before about the 5 love languages, but, understanding how each of us is wired improves communication. And more than improves communication, improves understanding. And then once the expectations are verbalized, there's actually an opportunity to work through them together.
And just something to touch on. So if you are listening to me when I'm venting, we'll call it venting.
Okay.
And you want respect, that means that when I'm venting and you are empathizing, I need to also hear you out to show you the respect that I'm trusting you when you're giving me the empathy.
Well said.
Ah, all right. See, we learn a few things as we keep going through this talking
communication thing is pretty good.
I don't know who said this quote, but I saved it. It's on my pegboard in my office. And so I wanted to share it because it really goes with today's topic. Every time you choose openness over silence, you're building trust and closeness. And as you root yourself in Christ, you'll discover the strength and security to communicate with even more freedom, which just means the closer you are to Christ in your walk, the easier it'll be to talk.
Yeah, you're not wearing a mask. You're not hiding anything. And you're not showing up the way that you think your spouse wants you to be. You're being authentic, and authenticity and transparency are huge when it comes to open and honest communication. Now, in order to do that, you've got to talk through your expectations for your spouse, for the relationship, whatever it is that you're looking for. Some of them have the possibility to be met, and others are probably unrealistic. But the sooner you get those out into the open and you start working through them, the stronger your relationship's going to be.
Yeah, and an example that we can give you is, when I come home from work, I know that Ron wants to fix it for me because he cares and he wants me to be happy and content. So when I come home from work and I am what you could call a rabid dog with a bone, I can come in and say, I had a really bad day and I just need to vent. Can you just sit with me for a moment and let me vent? I've now set the expectation that I don't want him to try and fix it. I just want him to be there and listen instead of assuming that he knows that.
And, from my point of view, that's helpful information because, like Samantha said, I mean, I'm going to go right into fix it mode. So if you give me the prompt initially that, I really just want you to listen while I vent for a moment, it changes my headspace. I can come into the conversation from a different mindset and provide the support that my wife is looking for.
Yeah, and I hate to say this, but more often it is the woman who thinks that the guy just knows. Like, we've been together for 20 years. Don't you know by now? But realistically, we're both growing and changing. And so, no, he's not a mind reader. I'm not a mind reader. And we have to just put it out there.
Absolutely. So, we're really just skimming the surface of this topic. So we're going to talk more about this.
Yeah.
But I hope you find this helpful. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. But not only that, drop a couple comments in there. Let us know what you think and what questions you might have.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next time.
All right.
Bye.